The troublesome marketplace of Microsoft Flight Simulator will finally be receiving a very significant update and change in operation that us as simmers and the developers are all going to appreciate. Stick around to find out what that is. Make sure if you guys can that you join us at Flight Sim Expo 2023. That's right, Overkill Simulations is going to be present this year, guys, at the Lone Star Museum at Houston, Texas. If you guys are interested in joining us there, be sure to check down the description below. There is a coupon code that can save you guys a bit of money using my personal reference to get you there. Again, that'll save you a bit of cash in your Flight Sim Expo 2023 experience. This is going to be June 23rd through the 25th of 2023. Again, in Houston, Texas, at the Lone Star Flight Museum. I went a few years ago in Las Vegas, and they are an absolute great time. There's some very, very informative and educational seminars to help better your flight simming experience, as well as a ton of developers of both hardware and software that you guys actually get to try out, essentially a try before you buy experience, as well as talking with the developers themselves and finding out what the products are all about. So again, guys, it's going to be Flight Sim Expo 2023 in Houston, Texas. I hope to see you guys all there. Don't forget to use my coupon code that you can find down in the description below. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come along down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below, and thank you to all of my current subscribers. All right, you guys. So as you all know and have probably experienced, the marketplace has been something that has been very, very severely lacking since the inception of Microsoft Flight Simulator. We've all had our complaints about it. There's been a golden rule amongst many of us that you just don't buy anything from the marketplace because Lord knows when you are going to see an update or be able to see any new access to said updates or new aircraft. There are many people, I cannot tell you how many times I've done reviews of third-party aircraft or applications, and people's first question is it on the marketplace? Is it on the marketplace? Because marketplace typically also means Xbox, right? Now, not always. There are obviously stipulations there, but it's a big entryway into the Xbox platform. And then people just don't want to sit here and have to constantly update their aircraft from 218 different developers. I have been a very big proponent on not using the marketplace, again, since pretty much I got started with Microsoft Flight Simulator, because I get tired of waiting for the updates. The update process just alone, so an aircraft that already exists on the marketplace, never mind, we'll get into how long it takes to even get a new aircraft into the marketplace. But let's say we've already got one there. And you know that there's, for example, there was a big problem with the Mooney for a very long time. The Mooney had some pretty serious issues. And Carinado, was constantly, updating it and doing what they needed to do. But we had to wait for Microsoft's testing team to get it implemented. And sometimes that was months later after an update and a fix to something that was truly frustrating was already out. And you couldn't have access to it because we had to wait for it to get through the Microsoft Flight Simulator or the Microsoft Asobo, if you will, testing team. That is about to change. So what's happening is on March 24th. Basically what's going to end up happening is Microsoft/Asobo is stepping away from third-party testing. Now this is going to bring good and bad, so focus with me here for just a minute. Basically what it's going to come down to, it's going to be up to the developer to determine whether or not their aircraft or update is truly ready for public release. At which point they deem it is, they will have free access to simply attach their update or attach their new aircraft. Now, I'm sure there's still some sort of vetting process as far as new developers who are wanting to become a part of the Microsoft, team and be able to have access to upload their aircraft. I don't think that means that, Jerry Joe John down the street can just pull up some random aircraft, put some BS together and attach it to the marketplace. I'm sure there's still a vetting process. You have to, show that you're an adequate developer in order to maintain that particular piece of it. But what it does do is removes Microsoft completely. And they've even stated, even with bugs and issues that are affecting their aircraft, they're saying it's going to be completely up to the developer to assess those issues, report those issues, be able to validate said issues, and give Microsoft Flight Simulator, or Asobo, I should say, the necessary steps required if an implementation change is required from Microsoft to do that. And even then, that's very vague on their verbiage on that. It doesn't even necessarily sound like Asobo is going to be the ones to resolve the issue. It sounds like it's still going to be up to the developer to change their aircraft or application to fit the current build of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So if you're a developer and you've put out an aircraft and the next update breaks your aircraft, essentially what they're going to say is they are no longer going to take the lengths to fix your aircraft. It's going to be up to you to redesign your aircraft to work with the newest build. So there's pros and cons to this. Now, obviously the pros are meaning that if any aircraft, you get a fix, a developer puts a fix to it, that fix can be on the marketplace tomorrow, right? So the advantage here is that it makes the marketplace definitely a much more desirable means of purchase, and again, a one-stop shop. That is always the nice part about any kind of platform hosted marketplace, is that you don't have to go out to 218 different websites to download all of your products, aircrafts, etc. The downfall to that now, however, is that it's going to be completely up to the developer to make said changes and fixes, and that could also extenuate time even further based on the knowledge of the sim, or depending on what has changed in the sim, it may cause a complete or almost complete overhaul of an aircraft. So again, you could see some delays increase. Now with new aircraft, this is going to be a really big one, right? Because that is probably the biggest thing. I think that's probably your largest frustration point from a end user standpoint. Is a new aircraft comes out, you want to wait for it to hit the marketplace. You could find yourself waiting 4 to 6 months as it currently is before you actually see it hit the marketplace. That's why we always post the news articles about some of these aircraft when they finally reach the marketplace, is to let you guys know, because chances are it's been out for 3 or 4 months and you've been sitting here waiting and forgot about it. So there's pros and cons to both sides of this. I think it's going to be a very interesting development as this progresses. Now, one of the cool thing is that it also does state that, again, this does open the door further to Xbox Series S or X, the Xbox Cloud, for developers. But now it's also going to make hardware requirements going to be something that developers have to take now into further consideration as they do this, because it's no longer going to be adjusted again from the Asobo side. So I'm going to have a link down to the announcement, guys, if you guys are interested in checking this out. I think it's going to be very interesting as far as how this is all going to play out and where the pros and cons are going to lie. I think it's going to require developers to definitely take a much larger role in the community as far as forums and things like that, where issues can be reported and addressed in an organized manner. So if you're a developer and you don't have any kind of third-party outlet for end users to get in touch with you, that's going to be something you're going to want to be thinking about, and how to organize that before this change comes into effect. Again, so we're looking at March 24th, at which this should come live. So this should be pretty exciting times, guys. It's definitely going to open up a lot of doors. It's definitely got me thinking that I want to stop and sort of hold back and see how things start to progress, and how quickly aircraft truly do make the marketplace, and what kind of update cycle we start to see. And I might start moving some of my content as far as my purchasing to the marketplace. Let me know what you guys think. Are you going to give the new marketplace a shot, or are you going to stay, if you're someone who's like myself and religiously stays towards the third-party websites to download your content, as this change progresses? I'm personally excited about it. It's nice to finally hear them listening to the community and making some changes that are going to make our lives a bit easier. And for those of you who are, again, diehard marketplace users, you're not going to have to wait near as long, knock on wood, for some of these updates to reach your doorstep. As always, guys, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Again, a link to this article will be down in the description if you guys want to read it for yourself. There's a very interesting chart about showing the flow of how this is all going to work from a developer standpoint, so you guys can see what the process is going to look like in regard to new aircraft joining, updates and testing and things like that. So very, very cool stuff, guys. Super excited to see where this goes. As always, folks, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.